Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. IRS or ERS, crypto taxes. Yuck. Yeah, but we got to touch it. Senator Scott on a Clarity Act timeline. I think you're going to like it. And an XRP BTC chart. I think you're going to like that too. But somebody's got to roll that beautiful intro so we can see it all.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You could follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.22 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's up 0.5%. Bitcoin, 91,600 plus. Ethereum, 3,000 plus. XRP number 4 spot is 214. What is going on here? Now, we're off 2% on the 24. We're off 11.8 on the 7-day, much like the rest of the market. And the range of price between 215 and 226. I got to shout out my brother from another mother, Crypto Graphics, and JR and Sean and a few more that sent me messages and were like, you better buy this dip. I said, I finally got some family out here that reached out to me. Yeah. Christmas card list just got a little longer this morning. Yeah, it did. So thank you to all of you that reached out to give me a heads up there. Let's get into this news really quickly. Before we do, I want to remind you, listen, if you haven't done this yet, go to learn.cryptocoachnick.com. This is Nick Burafedo. Mr. BXRP has got an incredible 90-minute course, Become Crypto Fluent. And I tell you what, I've taken this course. It's the smartest, fastest way to learn blockchain, and it's no joke. It really, really is. Listen, you could use the code XRP589. That's the code you want to use, XRP589. You're going to get 25% off. Let me tell you something. And this is the holidays coming, so you're going to be around a lot of family, friends, and coworkers. Click the link underneath this video and you can gift it to them. Give it to them. They need it. They need the gap filled. Look, the world's not going another way here. This is the best 90-minute course you're going to want to take. So make sure you click the link to get started. Now let's look at this. It's iTrustCapital, ladies and gentlemen. Special offer, $100 funding bonus. You open up your IRA, best crypto and gold and silver IRAs on the planet. It's not even a conversation. It's the truth. And now they've created the PCA, the Premium Custody Account, which gives you the comfort you've been looking for in this space. Look, if you're a long-term investor, you're afraid of getting hacked, you're worried about your assets, get the same level of institutional grade custody in the closed loop system known as the PCA. And why is that? Because you can go in with your cash and crypto, you can trade 24/7, 365, but when you come out, it only comes out as cash and it can only go to your US checking account. Now, that is the level of security and safety and peace of mind that I'm looking for out here with attacks and cyber attacks and hacks at an all-time high. Click the link underneath the video and get started today. You're going to love it. Right here, we know that another internet outage is what we've been dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. Reason 1,000,001, we're getting that market infrastructure bill passed, and we're going to hear about it before we get out of this video. And let's listen to the amount of money that is about to invest in the golden age, America's Renaissance, if you will. And this is remarkable because we know that this golden age involves the United States becoming the crypto capital and AI capital of the world. And we know that President Trump has talked about 20 or 20 plus trillion dollars coming into our system to help build the fourth industrial revolution. And you got to know that a large portion of this is going to be coming into the crypto market and tokenization.
Stock market, all these things are rocking. We will have by the end of my first year more than $20 trillion of investment. The all-time record is $3 trillion. I think it's China. We're going to have 20 or $21 trillion. We've never had anything like it coming in because of tariffs. The money pouring into our country, the plants that are opening, AI, automobiles, everything. And the Democrats want to close our country. They're really, they say deranged.
It is deranged. There's no question about it. We need it, and it's coming. Now, I want to take you to this clip where Brad Garlinghouse sits on a panel with Tom Lee And he says something extremely critical that I think leads into the next piece or two of news that we're going to talk about here. Take a listen to this clip.
You're demonstrating that we don't have a global consensus about crypto.
And what a comment that is. Tom Lee, you're demonstrating that we don't have a global consensus about crypto. A global consensus, cooperation, right?
Even in this conversation, and I agree that it still is early, partly because there is not a global consensus about some of these things.
I agree.
And I think some of the use cases, we're still extremely early in terms of scaled use cases. Circle is certainly one example that has started to have a scaled use case around a stable coin. But I think the crypto industry, I agree, the next 16 years, I think will be better than the last 16 years because you'll finally see applications emerging that up until now have just been the store of value story or speculation.
There it is. And then he throws in that Bitcoin is a store of value story. A story. And speculation is ruled today. But going back to the original comment right out of the gate for a second.
You're demonstrating that we don't have a global consensus about crypto.
Absolutely right. And guess what? Now we have Jack Dorsey calling for a $600 tax-free threshold on Bitcoin transactions to make everyday Bitcoin spending practical. I say a tax-free crypto plan is what's needed, but not a cap. We need to introduce a fair use tax and eliminate all other taxes. Voila, no cap gains on crypto or anything else. Just fair use tax at the point of sale and the point of any sale. And then we see this to speak to Brad Garlinghouse's comment. We still don't have a global cooperation about crypto. Well, the U.S. government begins evaluation of Treasury proposal, which will empower the IRS. Check this out, to track and tax offshore crypto holdings of U.S. citizens. Sounds a little more like some global cooperation, doesn't it? If approved, the U.S. will join a long list of countries that have adopted the CARF taxation framework. CARF adoption is one of the few radical reforms regarding digital assets and the crypto industry ongoing in the United States. So, this is a global cooperation about U.S. taxpayers operating outside of the country. And this makes the IRS now the ERS. So instead of the Internal Revenue Service, they're the External Revenue Service. I think this is another signal that shows us, and I believe if we're going to get a fair use tax system and eliminate cap gains, income tax, and the rest of it, which I think is the world we're moving to, because why would you collect all of your documents and save everything for 12 months when the world is about to move everything on chain? It doesn't make any sense. I think the system gets reworked and restructured all the way around. And I think this, with the CARF taxation framework and the U.S. looking to join it as a part of the long list of other countries, is to close that gap for the possibility for tax harvesting from country to country. That's what I believe. And I think we're working our way there, and we probably won't get to a fair use conversation that's really solid or meaningful. And that doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about it, but we probably won't get to a place where it's really meaningful until we can get all of the dollars from all of the countries, certainly the G20 countries, represented on chain. And then once we have that level of activity, then I think you could start really talking about a fair use tax system that is very easy to track because everyone's transactions are on chain. Now let's listen to this. This clip right here sets it up for us.
Wall Street, years mocking crypto and now allocating to it. What's been really interesting to me in conversations here, though, is that it's not just people who are excited about the price. People are actually really curious about the infrastructure. And one of the reasons for that is they see it running 24/7. Government shutdown, nothing changes. Christmas Day, it's running as usual, global, unified, and working all the time. So I'm bullish not only on price, but on interest in the way that blockchain and crypto work.
And there you have it. And I think that's an excellent point to make there. And Wall Street going from, as he said there, Wall Street going from really slamming crypto to allocating it, right? It's really quite mocking it, in fact. But nonetheless, now we need to get the market infrastructure bill passed in order to see the effects that that gentleman was talking about, Wall Street allocating to crypto and 24/7, 365 markets, which we already have in crypto, and with tokenized stocks, which has really been something to note. Now, let's listen to Brian Armstrong talk about the markup for the Clarity Bill in December.
Hey everyone, Brian Armstrong, Coinbase CEO here. I'm in the halls of Congress, back again, pushing for market structure legislation. We've seen a lot of progress since I was last here. We've now seen draft text shared by the Senate Ad Committee. Senate Banking is also working nights and weekends to get the next iteration of their text out. So we've got a good chance, I think, of a markup for this bill in December, hopefully get it to the president's desk shortly thereafter. This would be a big milestone to get crypto unlocked with clear rules in the US, which would benefit all companies. But of course, Coinbase wants to be the top crypto company, so we're working hard on product in the meantime as well. And December 17th, we've got our product event, which you can tune on the live stream to see everything we've been building in the second half of this year. Thanks all of you for continuing to show up and contact your representatives and keep pushing for clear rules for crypto in the United States. We will keep doing our part here as well to try to make it happen.
So there you have it. And that's Brian Armstrong on seeing the markup in December. And meanwhile, what do we see released here just yesterday from the OCC, which is the Office of Comptroller of Currency? And for those of you who don't know, it is the prudential regulator that sits over top of all of the banks in the United States of America. And what do they say? The OCC published interpretive letter 1186, confirming that a national bank may pay network fees, sometimes referred to as gas fees, on blockchain networks to facilitate otherwise permissible activities and hold as principal amounts of crypto assets on balance sheet necessary to pay network fees for which the bank anticipates a reasonably foreseeable need. Remember this? Let me get it open here for us. Remember the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, an enforcement agency, put out the document back in 2019, 2020 about using and the continued growth of things like Swift's GPI, right? Tracking products, right? Or the continued growth of fintech non-bank remittance transfers like the company such as Ripple, which has a virtual currency, right? Which support cross-border money transfers, as well as proprietary virtual currency, XRP, which can be used to effect settlement of those transfers. And the OCC just said it's okay to hold crypto assets on your balance sheet necessary to pay network fees. You seeing all of that, right? Okay. Now let's hear Senator Tim Scott talk about the crypto market structure bill.
The Senate Banking Committee has been working on this for a while and now negotiating with Democrats to reach a bipartisan deal. What should we expect, Senator?
Well, Maria, let me just take you behind the scenes for just a quick second, because the Democrats have been stalling because they don't want President Trump to make America the crypto capital of the world. They don't want to give him the win. It's not just for President Trump. It's for the American people. Single moms like the one that raised me, Maria, her prices will go down. Her access will become 24/7. That's how powerful market structure legislation already will be. So we're excited.
It'll come back.
In the banking committee. So end of this year, next month, we believe we can mark up in both committees and get this to the floor of the Senate early next year so that President Trump will sign the legislation making America the crypto capital of the world, protecting consumers while increasing the likelihood of America being the most dominant economic power for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
There you have it right there. Shout out to Senator Tim Scott. I just love that guy's energy. I really, really do. Now let's move to this here. And then to add to all of this and getting the markup in December, right, and then signed by the president, we know that just another 4 days, 3 if you're not counting today, ISO 20022 becomes the only standard for all major cross-border payments. That means 11,000 plus banks that are connected to SWIFT, 200 plus countries, and 5 to 7 trillion moving daily will all be tied into and using the standard of ISO 20022. And it doesn't mean that price is going to jump on the day. I'd love it if it did. But what it does mean is that this new standardization is really fully implemented. And from there, with the complement of getting the market infrastructure bill passed, Ripple getting a bank charter license, and the Federal Reserve skinny master account, and a few other things to fall in line, I think then you will begin to see these things start to be phased in. That's how I see it. I hope it's a lot faster, but nonetheless, maybe up in the last almost 10 years I've been in this space, everything has been phased in. So if it isn't, it'll be something new that we haven't seen done this way before, but that's what I would expect. Meanwhile, you are here. We are just a few days away from November 22nd, which I think is a big deal. Ripple Bank Charter, the Fed Skinny Master Account, and the Clarity Act, all still waiting in the wings and all still very, very big fundamental pieces of news that need to happen. And meanwhile, what we're looking at here, analyst Egreg Crypto releases 4 XRP to Bitcoin macro simulation models with an average price of $11 should they come to life. We'll have to see. We need to see real markets happen to make it happen. But nonetheless, here's target 1, here's target 2, and you can see the other areas that he's got set up here with the fibs. I like it. I don't know where this goes. I think a lot of this, for me, to be perfectly honest, really comes down to how quickly do we get the things that I just talked about here that we still don't have? How quickly do we get a real surge in use of digital assets for ISO 20022? And I'm referencing stable coins, obviously, as well. And how soon do we get the bank charter and then the master account and then the infrastructure bill passed? These things are absolutely massive pieces of fundamental news that need to be completed, right? And accomplished. So that's a big part of where we are right now. And I'm going to leave it right there. It's not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. Now we're going into the Freedom Zone today. And today we're going to tackle the new information and the new stride moving forward, the positive step forward about that real bad guy that had that hump island. And we're going in there to talk about it right now. You could join us in the Patreon. Click the link underneath the video and join us in the Patreon. It is a great place to be, and it is one of the best ways to support this channel. And we're super grateful for each and every one of you to do. It costs almost next to nothing. You get all your daily videos with 0 Google ads and so much more. So click the link and come on in. All right, welcome back.